Alright, y'all, I hope y'all can hear me good. I'm doing this quick webcam video because I just seen like 3 different people just upload um, more videos about this lunar Sabbath, about the lunar cycles, and they're getting the information from Edomites, and they're not giving us enough scripture to back up why they keep the lunar Sabbath and they go by the lunar cycles the way that they do. Alright, so what I'm going to do right quick is just give y'all the scriptures as to why I believe that you have to use some type of sighting of the moon in order to keep the Sabbath and the new moons. I don't go by the concealed or hidden moon, and I'm going to give you the scriptures as to why. I didn't do this in the first video, uh, but I'm going to do it in this one, and I'm going to go right into the scriptures. No fancy flashy stuff. It's just me giving y'all the scriptures. You can either believe the scriptures or you cannot believe the scriptures. Alright, we're going to start with Genesis chapter 1 verse 14. And I see a lot of people that go to this, and here's what it says. And and Yahuwah said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. Notice he said, let there be lights. A concealed or hidden moon has no light. Alright? And it says, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. So already we're seeing that we were given lights. So there has to be some kind of light for you to see with your eyes in order to determine a day or a season or a year or a sign. Not complete darkness. That's one scripture. Now I'm going to go to the all famous Deuteronomy chapter 4 starting at verse 15, because a lot of people are trying to use this to say that this is why we have to go by the concealed or hidden moon, because they didn't see anything on the top of Mount Sinai. So now I'm going to go to Deuteronomy, and it's going to be chapter 4 starting at verse 15. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that Yahuwah spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female. So we hadn't even got to the part where it talks about the moon yet. Apparently this is not just talking about the moon, but it's talking about the likeness or the similitude of any figure, not just the moon. But they'll use this and say we can't go by the moon crescent because we're not supposed to worship anything other than Yahuwah. But if you're going to say that, then all of you messianics out there who believe in some son of God, Savior, or Messiah, you're going to have to throw that out too. You can't have your cake and eat it too. They didn't see no moon on the top of Mount Sinai, but they didn't see no son of God either. They didn't see no Yahushua. They didn't see no Yahushua. They didn't see no Yeshua, no Jesus. They didn't see that. So how y'all gonna worship a son of God but not use the crescent moon to start off as the new moon? But let me read on. Alright, and in verse 17, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, and the moon, and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them, not just the moon, and serve them which Yahuwah thy power hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. So they'll try to use that and say that's why we can't go by the crescent moon, the first sign or the sliver of the moon. It has to be the dark moon, the hidden moon, the the concealed moon. That's what they're saying. But as y'all just heard, and you can read it yourself, it's not just talking about the moon. It's talking about anything. And also for you messianics out there, you might as well throw the Son of God out because they didn't see him up there either. All right. Now we're going to go to Jeremiah 31 and 35. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 35. And it says, Thus saith Yahuwah, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahuwah of hosts is his name. The ordinance of the moon is for a light by night. So to keep the ordinances of the moon, there has to be light coming from the moon, because that's the way Yahuwah created it, for us to keep the ordinances of the moon by the light of the moon. There's no denying that. It's right here in Jeremiah 31 and 35. If the moon is dark, completely covered, concealed, and you can't see it, and there's no light coming from it, you should not be trying to get an ordinance from it. And to prove that the new moon is in fact an ordinance of the moon, I got scripture for that. We'll go to 2 Chronicles chapter 2, because the new moon is an ordinance of the moon. So 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, I build an house to the name of Yahuwah my power, to dedicate it to him, and to burn before him sweet incense, and for a continual shewbread, and for the burnt offerings, morning and evening, on the Sabbath, and on the new moons, and on the solemn feast of Yahuwah our power. This is an ordinance forever to Yasharal. So even the new moons are an ordinance, and just like Jeremiah 31:35, you have to have light coming from them to keep the ordinance. There must be some light in order to keep the ordinance. Now I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 60, verse 20. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 20. It says, The sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For Yahuwah shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Notice it says, neither shall the moon withdraw itself, because every month the moon withdraws itself. That's when it's hidden, it's concealed, it has withdrawn itself. It hasn't become a new moon, it has become a withdrawn moon, according to Scripture. Not new. Nowhere will you see where the new moon will be dark in Scripture. Nowhere. Here it says that the moon has withdrawn itself. So how can it be a new moon if it has withdrawn itself? All right? And here's something else you're going to want to look at. This is a future prophecy also. And it is showing that the moon will no longer withdraw itself. Now, what you want to make sure you pay attention to is Isaiah chapter 66, verse 23. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 23 says, And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me. So we're still going to be keeping the new moons, even though it's not going to withdraw itself anymore. It's not even going to be a hidden or concealed moon anymore, according to Isaiah chapter 60, verse 20. It says, The moon shall, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. In other words, the moon is not even going to be a hidden moon anymore, but we're still going to be keeping the new moon. Why? Because we don't need the hidden moon in order to keep the new moon. Apparently, according to Isaiah, unless y'all say Isaiah is wrong now. Now Isaiah is tripping. He don't know what he's talking about. Well, Isaiah says that in the future, according to this prophecy, the moon is not going to withdraw itself anymore. It's going to stay out, and we're still going to be able to keep the new moons. Okay, how are we doing that? And the moon's not even withdrawing itself. Now let me go on, and just to prove that the moon can stop, the moon will no longer hide itself. There is a place in Scripture where that actually happened, and that is in Joshua chapter 10, verse 12 and 13, where they was fighting, and he asked for the sun and the moon to stand still, and it did. The sun and the moon stood still, and it's going to do it again in the future. It's no longer going to withdraw itself, yet we're still going to be keeping the new moon and the Sabbath. Okay, so when you read 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 24, it says when the new moon was come, or when the new moon was there or visible. There's all kind of numbers in the Strongs for that. You can look that up. 935, 857, 7126, 7136. Uh, then you got Amos chapter 8, verse 5, where they say, when will the new moon be gone? If the moon has withdrawn itself, it's not even there to be gone. That doesn't even make sense. Apparently, Amos chapter 8, verse 5, these people are looking at something and they're waiting for it to be gone. And obviously, there's a light that they're seeing as an ordinance, and they're waiting for it to be gone. And they're also waiting for the Sabbath to be gone so that it can be the next day. So those are my scriptures for why I go by the first sighting of the moon, the light that I can see that's supposed to be used as an ordinance. I don't go by the concealed or hidden moon. And for those of you that teach that, you need to give some more scripture, because I have given, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different scriptures that promote using a sighting of the moon. And another thing I'm gonna add in here, just how this is what I'm thinking. Just because another nation takes something and perverts it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means they perverted it. Okay, so other nations use the crescent in a way that's not of the Most High. We're not trying to worship no crescent moon. We're just using it to keep track of the new month, because in the Hebrew, it's actually talking about Kodash or Kodesh, however you want to pronounce it, not a moon. It's not even about a moon in a lot of these scriptures. When you read 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 24, that's not even talking about the moon. It's talking about Kodash if you read it in the Hebrew. The places where you read where it says new moon, that's also Kodash. It's talking about a month, not a moon. So go back and read it in the Hebrew, and I'm I'm pretty sure it's gonna start meaning something a little bit different if you get the Hebraic meaning when you read it. Um, but yeah, the number for moon is going to be 3394. You can look that up in the Strongs. Uh, yeah, you're going to get that, and 3842. That also means a white moon. But a lot of the scriptures is really not even talking about the moon, because moon is a Greek word. We weren't even using the word moon. We was using words like Kadash, okay, and Yareak, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all just take them scriptures and tell me what y'all think, cause I don't think we should be going by a concealed or hidden moon. If it's not giving any light, we can't really even use it. So I hope this video helped y'all to at least understand why I do it the way I do. So I hope y'all liked the video, and I hope it helped y'all. And I'm gonna end it right there. This is Elder Young One, and I'm out of here.